All right, so let's look at homework section 4.3, question number 1, where it says in base 6, find 2 base 6 plus 5 base 6. And the question, I'm getting a lot of emails asking about this question, not sure how to set it up. So we're looking at 2 base 6 plus 5 base 6. So they're telling us what the answer is in base 10. They're telling us that 2 base 6 plus 5 base 6 is 7 base 10. Now, in class, I showed you how to add given a base and how to convert back. So let's go back to what we did in class last week. So convert 2 base 6. We're going to convert both base 2 base 6 and 5 base 6 to base 10. So 2 base 6, remember, we're saying 6 to the 0. So in turn, you're saying 2 times 1, that gives us 2. And then converting 5 base 6, we're saying 5 times 6 to the 0 power. And then we're saying 6 to the 0 power is 1. So that is 5 times 1, which is 5. So when we add, that was the first step. Let's go do that. Number 2, we're going to add, now that they're both in base 10, 2 plus 5, we have 7. And then we go back and convert base 7, excuse me, convert 7 back to base 6. And this is where we do our division. And this is where we're going to fill in that missing piece. Okay, so 6 goes into 7 once. 1 times 6, we have 6. We subtract, we have a remainder of 1. And then we're going to take the 6 divided into 1, which it goes into divides into 1 0 times. We have a remainder of 1. So 2 base 6 plus 5 base 6 is equal to, remember that this would be our answer. We start from the bottom and work our way to the top. It will be 11 base 6. So we have the solution. So we go into my math lab. Okay, let's enter that. So I'm going to we're going to work backwards. That's to get to fill in the box here. So here we're putting in, let me, let's do a split screen in a sense. Okay. All right. So we're going to enter here 11. That's adding 2 and 5 in base 6, which would give us 11 base 6. Now, how to fill in the missing part. This is the part that it kind of, the way it's set up is is backwards, but we're using the method that the textbook is using. So, but I told you on the test, don't worry about how the textbook explains the solution, but let's look at, pretty much how I'm showing you. Um, so what they're doing here, the middle work, look at the 11, going back to the screen here that I'm working with, look at the 11 base 6. What we're doing is showing what took place so that we can get to this answer. So here you're saying 1 times 6, and then this would be that missing part. And then the next part we have here 1 times 1, because we know 6 to the 0 power is 1. So we have 1 and 1. And then let's check our work. So it's kind of just how the question is set up is a little weird, but I understand that um, it's how the textbook is explaining it. So I'm working a little backwards. We're getting the solution, but then we're taking this part here and writing that in base 6. Okay. And really, when we convert this in base 6, we're going to end up with uh 7 base 10, basically. It's like we're going around the world and coming back, around the circle and coming back. The next example, look at number 2. So we have here, it says in base 2, find 1 base 2 plus 1 base 2 plus 1 base 2. But it's already telling us what, adding those together, what it would be in base 10. It would be 3 base 10. Now, if you want to verify it, we can do that. 1 base 2, we're going to convert to base 10, convert each of the numbers into base 10. So you're saying 1, we're saying 2 to the 0 power, which we have 1 times 1, that's 1. Same thing, no matter for the second number. And then 1 again, 2 to the 0, 1 times 1, we have 1. And then add 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is 3 in base 10. So now we're going to convert the 3 back into base 2. And this is where we're going to fill in the missing parts, the pieces here. So here we go. 2 divides into 3. 1 time, we have a remainder of 1. Then 2 divides into 1. 0 times, we have a remainder of 1. So 1 base 2 plus 1 base 2 plus 1 base 2 will give us 11 base 2. And then to fill in the missing part, so I'm putting my arrow. If you go to the left of the screen here, here is the 11. And then we want to fill in that part. So you're taking 11 base 2 and you're going to show me what it would look like in base 10. Okay, so then we're saying here, oh, I'm messing up here. Two to the 0, 2 to the 1, and here we have 1 times 2 and 1 times 1. This is what this answer will look like if we convert that back to base 10. And then let's look at this last one. 24 base 6 plus 35 base 6. So they're telling us what, now these are, well, we have some parts here. So let's look at 4 and 5, what it is in base 10. So we don't have to go through that part there. We know what 4 base 6 plus 5 base 6 is in base 10, which is 9. So we're going to take this 9, convert 9 back to base 6. Okay, so 6 goes into 9 once. We have a remainder of 3. And then 6 goes into 1 0 times. We have a remainder of 1. So then this would give us just adding, finding that solution, it will be 13 base 6. So let's take the, well, let's write that in. So 13. And then what we're going to do is take this 13 base 6 and convert it to 10. So 6 to the 0 and 6 to the first power. So then this would be 1 times 6. And then this would be 3 times 1. And then it says place the blank above the 6 columns. The 1, let's see if I get this right. And then we place the 3 above the 1's column. And that's what we did here. 3 above the 1's column, 6 be the 6 columns here. And then let's check. And we got it. Okay, so this is how we would do the first 3 examples of this. And basically, number 4 is asking us to find what is the quotient, and then what is the first number in the quotient, what is that? Complete the division. So the first number in the quotient would be what here? What, and this is in base 3, what times 2 in base 3 would get us close, or get us to 11? That would be 2. So let's do that one. This is base 3. Bring down the 2. We have what times 2 in base 3 would give us 2. That would be 1. And then we're going to subtract. We have 0. What times 0 would give us 0? That would be 0. And then all of this would be in base 3. There we go. All right, so those are the first 4 questions, the solutions to them. I hope you understand it. We will, if you don't understand it, I will explain it a lot more in class tomorrow.